So I'm going to try a little project here. Got a BMW 330i. It has an Eibach Pro Kit on it. The springs are a little shorter than stock. Came with the sport springs, but it's had the Eibach springs and the BMW performance suspension put on this car. It really handles nice, but a problem that I continue to have is rear tire wear. Tires wearing specifically on the inside. And from what I understand, the problem is with the camber of the wheel. And I've downloaded a little app on my phone, it's called Clinometer, and checked the angle that I'm getting on my rear tires. And you know, I've adjusted, had the eccentric bolts here in the back adjusted, and I've used the string method, all different methods. I've had it on a laser alignment, and no matter what, whenever you've got it in alignment, I've got about 2 degrees of negative camber on my wheels, and for my daily driver, that's just more than I need. I'll show you what I mean. These are the Continental Extreme Contact DWS. This is the last set that I had on. You can see the outside edge right here. Looks great. The inside edge is, you know, basically gone. So here's my idea to improve my camber. I was searching for camber kits on eBay, and you know, you get that eBay stuff that just looks sketchy. I bought stuff for my E36 off eBay. I bought some control arms one time, and I'm telling you, they didn't last 10,000 miles and they were shot. So it's not all of eBay, but there are some sketchy parts on there unless you know what you're buying. When I was looking on there, I saw a guy selling some adapters, and he spec'd out these adapters so that you could use some normal turnbuckles, some of these swage tubes and rod ends. So I'll show you what I got. I got this off from Summit Racing, obviously. And this is the box that my adapters came in. And here are some of the adapters. This is a finished piece right here. Sorry for the mess. I'll take you through this, what all I ordered. Get some of these adapters out here. 1, 2, and I've got one already open in here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. So this is what you get from the eBay vendor. You get 2 sets of these. So you get 6 pieces total. And what these allow you to do is take a normal 5/8 rod end and adapt it so that you can use it on your BMW, your upper control arm. I'm not sure what that arm's called, but it's the one that will let you adjust your camber. So what I ordered here from Summit, let's see here, I got 2 left and 2 right rod ends. You know, you got left-hand threads on one end, right-hand threads on the other. 2 swage tubes and 4 jam nuts. And the actual part numbers that I got, this is the ends here. I think they have Kevlar and Teflon or something like that in them. It's supposed to be good quality stuff. So I've got 2 of these, the XMR10, the R is the right-handed. And then I've got, and that's the other one. And I got 2 of these XML10s, the left-handed thread. I've got the swage tubes. Right there was the part number for those. 36178, 2 of those. Then I got some jam nuts. I got several of those. You can see they were out of the jam nuts I really wanted. I don't know how I ended up with them in my cart, but kind of looks funky. But I got one type on one end here and another type on the other end. I actually like these thicker ones better, but these were the ones they only had. I think they were out of the right-handed ones and only had the left-handed. I can't remember, but anyway, any of the 5/8, this is all 5/8 stuff here, and any of those 5/8 jam nuts, as long as you get, you know, a left, 2 lefts and 2 rights. So the arm we're going to be replacing is this one right here. This guy right here, this should let us adjust our tilt in and out. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my app, and I'm going to check the angle that my rotor is currently sitting at. And whatever that angle is, it doesn't really matter. It's just, you know, it's just a control number. So we'll check that angle, and when I get the new arm installed here, I can dial out about, you know, 1.5 degrees of camber, and it should be where I want it. So I'll have to turn off my phone. Can't record that part because it's the same phone that I'm going to be using to check the angle, but I'll report back in just a second. So that was interesting. I got a level and set it on a level surface, calibrated my phone, calibrated the clinometer app, and I checked the angle of the rotor surface here. With the rotor all the way down, all the weight on the jack, I got 0.5. So 0.5 degree camber, almost straight up and down. And of course the road I'm on here is not level, so this is to be taken with a grain of salt. When I put a jack on the bottom of the control arm, I jacked the control arm up until the jack started to take some of the weight from the jack that I've got here on the jack point. In other words, the tire was in its normal setting position. I got 3 degrees of camber, 2.93, so big difference. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Whenever you put these short springs on, the system is, you know, set to work at a certain height. So when you get those short springs on and it comes up a little bit, and you're adding, you know, you're adding that camber to your car, and you're getting inside tire wear. Right here, it's what is this one? 18 millimeter. So it's coming along slowly, but just to let you know, you have to have 2 18 millimeter wrenches. You're going to need the, you know, the spanner, the open end on the inside nut, and the nut's on the left. Looking, you know, this is the right hand side of the car. And then, you know, you put your box in here. Be sure you take this one loose first, this front edge, that we can drop that one down a little bit. That'll give you a little bit more room to work. But, you know, it's coming, it's just taking some time. Yeah, so it took a little time, but, you know, I got it out. And here comes this upper arm. And see, right now, I should have taken those loose to start with, but let's grab a screwdriver and pop those clips so we can take this arm the rest of the way off. Okay, so we got the arm out. Let's see what we got as far as size tolerance here on how our fitment's going to be. Sorry, I don't have my metric unit out here. I'm not even sure if you can read this, but I've got 1.988 inches, 1.986, 1.986. This is our replacement with the adapters in place. You can see these 2 adapters. They go in either side and meet up. And on those, okay, we got a little bit thicker here. So we got 1.92, 1.93, 1.92. So about 6/100. Well, let's just pop it in and see how it fits. So there it is in place. Notice right away the back fit really nice. The back fit perfectly. I put a little bit of anti-seize on the bolts as I put them back in. The only problem that it's not really even a problem that I see, is this difference in the height right here. If I can focus this a little better. You can see that the replacement here, the adjustable rod, the distance between the center line of the rod and where it actually contacts the hub is quite a bit different than the original. Now the only difference you're really going to see with that is you can see all the extra thread right here on the end that I've got sticking out because this bolt had to go in further. So I'm going to be sure and put some anti-seize on that as well, and even tempted to try to put a cap or something over that to keep that from rusting. And honestly, I don't see how that will make any difference. We're not close to contacting anything here. You know, there's no interference. And by the nature of a turnbuckle, we can adjust it where we want it. One last thing I forgot to mention, the cables here that go to your brake indicator, let you know when you need to get new pads, and it also goes over here to your wheel speed sensor. You know, those were mounted on the old arm, and there's really no place to put them on this arm. I could zip tie it on here, but you know, I want to be able to turn this easily enough, so hopefully this will work okay. I split some rubber tubing, put the cables through there, and zip tied them onto the sway bar here, so I don't think it'll be a problem. Doesn't look like there should be any problem with it, but we'll try that and see how that works. So I'm really needing a good way to get a straight measurement with my phone and you know, the angle app that I have, and I tried using a short level on here. The problem with the level, it was a bit long, and it actually didn't touch the rim, it touched on the curb guards here of the tire. And you'd think that'd be fine, and it probably would be, but moving it around, I could see, you know, just a few tenths of a degree difference depending on where I put it. So I'm going to try this. I've got my tubing cutter, and I've got an old hunting arrow here, and I've checked it for straightness. I still have an arrow straightener from back in the day when we used to shoot aluminum arrows, and I'm going to you know, cut it down so that it just rests on the edges of my rim, and I'm going to give that a shot and see how consistent that works. Okay, so I drove up to a flat parking lot, and checked my tires. I went ahead and put the other adjuster on this side as well, and I actually used the existing arm on the top to measure out my adjustable arm, and I got them the same. Then I put the tire on, or I put the adjuster on, and I measured off my brake caliper here, and I dialed out about 5/10 of a degree of camber here in the rear. So I wanted to check both of these against each other, and when I got on the flat, I used the arrow across the rim. It worked great, and I found that I have on this left side, I'm running about 1.2 degrees of camber right now, negative camber. On the right side, I have 1 degree of negative camber. And to verify that, I turned my car around 180 degrees in the parking lot and parked in the same area, checked it again with this, and got the same reading. And I was pretty happy with that. So I've got my wife filming for me now, so I can actually use my phone to show you how this works. I'm actually using an app called Clinometer from the Android store. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to check with, you know, I've already got the car jacked up. I got my jack stand under here, that's important. I'm going to check the angle that the car's actually sitting at right now, and it's, you know, it's not going to be what it normally would be on the road, but I just want a reference angle, and I'm going to set my arrow on here. This is an aluminum hunting arrow, so it's thin-walled, so you can't push in on your arrow very much. Even if you get a carbon arrow, you're going to get about the same effect. So right there, I've got 87.5, and you can see that's 87.5. If I lean out, it goes up, so it's 87.5 on negative, so that's 2.6 degrees negative camber. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and take the wheel off, and then I'm going to check the rotor and see if I still get the same camber on the rotor. I'm just curious if everything is that precise and square. So let's take this off. And what's the verdict on the rotor? 87.5, 87.4, 87.4. So pretty close, pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I really want to run in the rear about 0.8 of a degree negative camber. I don't want a lot of negative camber just for my daily driver. So I'm going to shoot for about 0.8. This one was I think 1.3 or so over. So I'm going to take 5/10 of camber out of this one. So I got to loosen up my jam nuts. I got my normal one here. I got my left-handed one back here. Again, I would think about getting the smaller jam nuts because it's a lot easier to get this box-end wrench back here than it would be a crescent wrench. So now this is free. I'm going to go ahead and watch my app and dial out about 5/10. I'm at 87 point, and I'm reading 87.2. And go 87.4, where we were a minute ago. .5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. Okay, I'm gonna try it right there and go up to my parking area again and double check and see if that gives me the result I want. If that works fine, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side too. Just to go over a problem I'm already seeing. Because the adjustment here is not in the same center line as the control arm, the main bottom control arm down here, whenever you adjust this, you're not only adjusting your camber, you're also adjusting your toe in. So the whole wheel is actually moving this way as well. So when you get some negative camber, you're also increasing toe out. So what I found was, after tinkering and adjusting with this for a day or so, I don't have enough on my eccentric to get my toe in where I want it. So what I'm going to have to do is find a happy medium. If you actually look at the auction that has these adjusters, I thought I could get by with just getting the adjusters for here. There's also a set that goes right here, right there. And with this set, you could adjust that toe in real simply. Take a little here off and change your toe in right here. This would really make a big difference. So, if you really want to get serious about it, it's going to be double the price, but you're going to want an adjuster for here and for there. And it would use the same exact setup. The concentric bolt here on this edge, and then the two adapters over here. So just something to think about. When you adjust this, you're changing your toe in, and you don't have a tremendous amount of adjustment down there. So what I'm going to do to get this back close to where it was from the very get-go and kind of start over is I'm going to put my original control arm back in. And just a note for putting this back in, if you will start this side first, actually let this back section sort of hang down below the bracket, because this one is tough to get in when the wheel is not got any support underneath. It's hard to get this one square. It'd be easy to strip this, so you want to let this hang down and be under the bracket. Get this one started. Don't get it completely tight. Get it all the way up there so that you got good threads, and you can tighten it on up. Pull this one over and up into place. This one's not going to want to go in either. It's hard to get this bolt here in. So what I did was, make sure that you tighten up one of your studs here enough so that you can get some leverage, and you can pull out on this. What that does is let you pull out on the bottom, and you can work that bolt in the back. Gives you just a little bit of extra help getting that through there. Original link, check the angle here on my rotor at 88.6. Again, the 88.6 is just a reference number. If you're attempting this, yours will probably be completely different, okay? So don't use that necessarily for yours. I happen to have 88.6. I put my adjustable link back in up here, tightened everything down, then reset that adjustable link so that it also read 88.6. Then I took a file. I don't know if you can see this or not. See if it'll focus on here. If you can't see it, it's fine, but I just took a file, made a score mark right here on top. Yeah, I guess you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lengthen this one turn. I'm going to put my tires back on and check my toe in and see if that is a number that will work. Okay, some final thoughts. I think I've finally got my car set up so that I can enjoy it at least until I get it on a laser alignment machine or get some string out and get a little more serious with my measurements. Right now what I've done is after getting the upper links, my adjustable links at the same normal setting as the factory links, I went ahead and gave them one turn. one turn gave me, and this is just what I got with these iBox springs, guys. I'm not sure what you'll get on your particular setup, but one full turn of the swage tube in lengthening gave me 0.7 on camber. Okay, gave me another 0.7 on the camber. So I adjusted that on each side. I put it down on the ground. I drove to a flat spot. I got my camber set until I was at 0.7 negative degrees of camber on both sides. I think that's pretty, between 0.5 and 0.1 they say is good for a daily driver. I think that'll work out really well for me. After I got that set, I came back and I checked my toe in the rear, and it was out. It was out pretty good ways. So I adjusted my eccentrics. You guys, I'm sure there's a place online that'll tell you how to do that. There's your eccentrics you can adjust to set your toe in. And so what I did was I kept adjusting that, and I've just been eyeballing it. If you can look down the edge of my tire right there, I just want to see about an inch of my front tire. So you're looking down the edge of your back tire, you can see about an inch of the edge of your front tire, and you do that on both sides, and you should have a pretty good, pretty good amount of toe in on the back without going crazy, so that you've got so much tire wear. But I gave it a once over up there after I did my toe in. My camber's where I want it, my toe in's where I want it, and the car's driving really nice. So I'm satisfied. I'm ready to put up my tools and call it a day and enjoy the rest of this weekend. I hope this helps some of you guys out. Thanks for watching.